Howdy folks, welcome back to the top 10 coasters in a specific year series. In this video, we'll look at the best coasters in the United States that opened in 2011 and rank the top 10 from that list. But before we begin, we're celebrating having reached a 3,000 subscribers milestone on YouTube last week. We just want to take a quick moment to say thank you and that we greatly appreciate the warm comments we've been receiving from many of our viewers. If you've been enjoying this series, please continue showing your support by giving this video a like, sharing it with a friend, and subscribing to America's Coaster Network if you haven't already. Theme parks took a small step backwards in 2011 when only 13 new coasters were built, compared to 2010 when there were 14. There's not much else to say, so let's get her ranked. These are the top 10 roller coasters that opened in 2011. As always in this series, we only rank coasters that were newly constructed for each season, so you will not see coasters that were relocated and opened at a different park in 2011 on this list. And our rankings are based on how coasters operated at the time of their opening year, so if they became rougher or had modifications since 2011, that will not play a role in how they are ranked today. Despite ranking only new coasters, we do have one honorable mention before getting to the top 10, and that is Wildcat at the North Georgia State Fair. This aptly named Schwarzkopf Wildcat model is only open for about 1.5 weeks per year while the fair is operating in September and October, but stays constructed at the fairgrounds year-round. So, like me, it sits around for most of the year with about a week and a half of rides. It's an honorable mention because while Roller Coaster Database has it listed as a 2011 coaster, there's no way that it was new when it opened for the first time at the Georgia State Fair. These classic Schwarzkopf coasters are going extinct, so ride it while you can. Crashing the number 10 spot is Bambora at Lagoon. It's the first coaster built and designed by Art Engineering, an engineering firm out of Germany, which we honestly hadn't even heard of until we started researching for this very video. They were also involved with Canobie at Lagoon, along with a handful of other coasters around the world. It's a junior coaster of only 45 feet tall and 1,040 feet in length, but it packs a lot in with an upward helix along with a bunch of super fun turns. It also has onboard audio and beautifully themed trains. Just like in 2010, we have another Zamperla coaster at Luna Park coming in at number 9, Steeplechase, which is a motocoaster clone of Motocoaster at Darien Lake. The flywheel launch on Steeplechase propels riders from 0 to 37 miles per hour in 2 seconds and immediately loses all of that speed, where the coaster then just slowly meanders around its short 1,194 foot track. However, the ride vehicles on this one do look pretty cool, but if you wanted to ride a horse in New York City, there are other options.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Number 8 is Alpine Mountain Coaster at Mountain Creek Water Park in New Jersey, which used to be the infamous Action Park. And not exactly learning from its past mistakes, Mountain Creek Water Park added one type of attraction that usually requires a waiver in order to ride, an Alpine coaster. Now, we're running out of things to say about this type of ride, but it's pretty cool how you interact with some of the park's water slides on this one as you scale up and down its 2,805 foot track. Get the credit and then immediately drive a short 6 miles northeast to escape the hell on earth known as New Jersey. Storming into the number 7 spot is Noreaster Mountain Coaster at the Greek Peak Mountain Resort. Again, not to be confused with this Noreaster. This Noreaster is 2,903 feet in length and an Alpine coaster, not an SLC. Man, another Alpine coaster, can we skip it? We should call it Nor Passover Mountain Coaster. Wooden Warrior at Quasi Amusement Park comes in at number 6. Designed by the Gravity Group as their first family wooden coaster, it stands 36 feet tall and reaches a top speed of 35 miles per hour across a track length of 1,200 feet. And while it may be short in height and length, it is known for providing some amazing airtime, which is no surprise given its designer. And there's a tunnel too. Wooden Warrior is the perfect stepping stone to larger coasters, but unfortunately it's the largest coaster in this park, so you'll have to go elsewhere. Wilding out at number 5 is Untamed at Canobie Lake Park. Built by Dutch roller coaster manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction, Untamed is a hybrid roller coaster and stands 72 feet tall with a maximum speed of 49 miles per hour and a track length of 2,800 feet, along with several inversions.
That doesn't sound right.
What's wrong? One of the most unique aspects of Untamed is its ride vehicles, which are 4-seater cars that are designed to mimic a bobsled ride.
Yeah, that's definitely not right.
You got me.
Okay, full transparency, I haven't even been on Untamed at Canobie Lake Park, so I asked ChatGPT to write us a description of it.
Well, that explains it. But it sounds like it's somewhat describing Untamed at Wallaby Holland, which didn't open until 2019.
That's what I get for being lazy. Well, we're out of time. Moving on. Diving down to number 4 is Daredevil Dive at Six Flags Over Georgia, a custom Eurofighter model from Gerstlauer. Triple D is the tits. The ride is 2,099 feet long and features a vertical lift chain, a beyond vertical drop, and 3 inversions, and was the first Eurofighter to feature lap bars instead of over-the-shoulder restraints. The Daredevil drove down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind, but he was actually just a dumbass because all he had to do was look at the long-ass queue line. All shook up at number 3 is N Pippin at Bay Beach. Designed by the famous roller coaster designer John A. Miller, N Pippin was originally located at Libertyland in Memphis, Tennessee, and gained notoriety as being Elvis Presley's favorite ride. In fact, on August 8, 1977, Elvis rented out the park and rode the coaster for hours without stopping. It would be his last public appearance before his untimely death just 8 days later. After the coaster was sold in 2006, most of the ride was unsalvageable, but was rebuilt closely following the original design, restoring the ride to its former glory. Given the historical significance and connection to Elvis Presley, it features various decorations and references to Elvis throughout the ride and surrounding area. We can't help falling in love with N Pippin, and it ranks number 3 on our list for its ejector death hill alone, which might not be the best term to use. Pouncing onto number 2 is Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. For some bizarre reason, the park saw a Maverick at Cedar Point and said, "Hey, we want this one." So they had N Pippin build them an LSM launch blitz coaster slightly more geared towards families. But at least this one is actually fun. It features 3 launches, 1 inversion, and the first ever wind catcher element. Cheetah Hunt is not only the longest coaster at Busch Gardens, Tampa, with over 4,400 feet of track, but consistently is one of the longest lines, with a good reason. It's intimate, and the likelihood of it being broken down is high. But seriously, we love Cheetah Hunt. And finally, illuminating the number 1 spot is Green Lantern First Flight at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This Zack Spin model by Intamin was the first of its type in North America. After all the coaster enthusiast hype of Insane at Grunaland, we were so excited to finally have one close to home, only to be let down by a steaming pile of garbage. So let's talk about the real number 1 of 2011.
Y'all likely predicted this from the start, but the number 1 new coaster of 2011 is the new Texas Giant at Six Flags Over Texas. The park had a hankering that they needed to get it fixed in their corn-fed den coaster, the Texas Giant. And Rocky Mountain Construction said, "Well, I might do that for y'all." But instead of a simple retracting, RMC proposed the all get out, and the Texas Giant became the new Texas Giant, a hybrid coaster combining steel iBox track with the existing wood support structure. Designed by God himself. No one had ever seen a coaster like it before. The new Texas Giant stands 153 feet tall and features a track length of 4,200 feet. It reaches a top speed of 65 miles per hour and features a number of thrilling elements, including a 79-degree drop, overbank turns, and airtime hills. Now, while it may be beaten by most newer RMC coasters, the new Texas Giant ain't a bad ride. It even won the Golden Ticket Award in 2011 for Best New Ride. Kinda hard to believe it's been around for 12 years already.
Alrighty folks, we avoided breaking our necks on Green Lantern, so this concludes the top 10 coasters that opened in 2011. The East Coast got most of the love this year except for the number 1 spot and a coaster everyone would like to forget ever existed if it didn't already give you permanent brain damage. But did any ranking surprise or upset you? What would you change in your own ranking? Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know what your least favorite roller coaster of all time is. It's obvious what ours is. In a few weeks, we'll rank the top 10 coasters that opened in 2012. Thanks for counting down with us, and we'll see you in the next video.